a WikiVidi documentaries production. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy. Toni Braxton. Toni Michelle Braxton is an American singer, songwriter, pianist, record producer, actress, television personality, and philanthropist. She began performing with her sisters in a family group known as the Braxtons in the late 1980s, who were signed to Arista Records. Braxton attracted the attention of producers Antonio, Reid and Kenneth, Babyface, Edmonds, later recording a series of songs for them before being signed to their Arista-distributed imprint, LaFace Records. Her self-titled debut studio album reached #1 on the Billboard 200 chart in the United States, selling 10 million copies worldwide, and seeing the international success of the singles, Another Sad Love Song, and Breathe Again. The albums brought Braxton 3 Grammy Awards, including Best New Artist. Secrets, Braxton's second studio album, saw continued commercial success, selling 15 million copies, and generating the singles, You're Makin' Me High, and Unbreak My Heart, which became her first singles to reach the top of the Billboard Hot 100 chart in the United States. Secrets brought Braxton an additional 2 Grammy Awards for Best Female Pop Vocal Performance and Best Pop Vocal Album. Her third studio album, The Heat, opened at #2 on the Billboard 200 and saw the success of its lead single, He Wasn't Man Enough, which reached #2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and brought Braxton her 6th Grammy Award for Best Female R&B Vocal Performance. Braxton's subsequent studio albums, More Than a Woman, Libra, and Pulse, were released amid contractual disputes and health issues, including a lawsuit against her former manager for mismanaging her relationship with Arista Records. In 2014, Braxton and longtime collaborator Babyface released a duet album entitled Love, Marriage and Divorce, which earned the duo an additional Grammy Award for Best R&B Album in 2015. Throughout her career, Braxton has sold over 67 million records, including 41 million albums worldwide. She has won 7 Grammy Awards, 9 Billboard Music Awards, 7 American Music Awards, among numerous other accolades. Aside from her success in music, Braxton has become a television executive producer and personality, being involved in the 7th season of the reality competition series Dancing with the Stars, and in a reality series entitled Braxton Family Values, where Braxton is executive producer and star since 2011 on WikiVidi. Braxton is also an executive producer of its spin-off, starring her younger sister, Tamar, for Tamar and Vince. In 2011, Braxton was inducted into the Georgia Music Hall of Fame. Early life. Toni Michelle Braxton was born in Severn, Maryland. Her father, Michael Conrad Braxton Sr., was a Methodist clergyman and power company worker, and her mother, Evelyn Jackson, a native of South Carolina, was a former opera singer and cosmetologist, as well as a pastor. Braxton's maternal grandfather was also a pastor. Braxton is the eldest of 6 siblings. She has a younger brother Michael Jr. and 4 younger sisters Tracy, Tawanda, Trina, and Tamar. They were raised in a strict religious household, and Braxton's first performing experience was singing in her church choir. Braxton attended Bowie State University to obtain a teaching degree, but decided to sing professionally after she was discovered by William E. Petaway Jr., who reportedly heard her singing to herself while pumping gas. On her appearance May 24, 2014 broadcast of NPR's Wait Wait. Don't Tell Me, she stated that she was not singing to herself at the gas station. Petaway, working as an attendant at the Annapolis service station where she was refueling, recognized her from local performances and introduced himself, saying he wanted to produce her. Although skeptical, Braxton decided to, in her words, take a chance, and accepted. 1989-95, The Braxtons, Toni Braxton and Breakthrough. Braxton and her 4 sisters began performing as the Braxtons in the late 1980s and were signed to Arista Records in 1989. Their first single, Good Life, was released in 1990. Though the song was not successful, it attracted the attention of Antonio, Reid and Kenneth, Babyface, Edmonds. Reid and Babyface recruited her to record the demo of Love Shoulda Brought You Home, a song that they had written for Anita Baker for the soundtrack of Eddie Murphy's film, Boomerang. Baker, who was pregnant at the time, did not record the song, but suggested that Braxton record it. Her recording was later included on the soundtrack along with Give You My Heart, a duet by Braxton and Babyface. Braxton, meanwhile, was signed to Reid and Edmonds' Arista-distributed imprint, LaFace Records, and immediately began recording her solo debut album. On July 13, 1993, LaFace Records released Braxton's self-titled debut album, Toni Braxton. The album, which was primarily produced by Reid, Babyface, and Daryl Simmons, peaked at number 1 on the US Billboard 200 albums chart. The first single, Another Sad Love Song, peaked at number 7 and number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and R&B singles charts respectively. The album's second single, Breathe Again, peaked in the top 5 of both the Hot 100 and R&B singles charts and No. 2 in the UK. More singles from Toni Braxton were released in 1994, including You Mean the World to Me, 7 Whole Days, and I Belong to You / How Many Ways. Braxton's debut album won her several awards, including 3 Grammy Awards. She won 2 American Music Awards in 1994 and another one in 1995. Toni Braxton was certified 8x Platinum in USA and has sales of over 10 million worldwide. 1996–99, Secrets and Financial Issues. In June 1996, Braxton released her second and most successful album, Secrets. Braxton said of the album, "The motivation for this album was to include a little bit of everything. Our aim was to come up with material that would have a familiar feel to the people who bought the first album without being musically redundant." Along with Babyface, Braxton also worked with R. Kelly, Tony Rich, and David Foster on the album. Braxton co-produced the album and co-wrote 2 of its songs, including the 1997 single, How Could an Angel Break My Heart, which was also later included on Diana Princess of Wales Tribute, a Princess Diana memorial album. With help from the album's first single, You're Makin' Me High, which became Braxton's first number 1 hit on the Hot 100 singles chart, the album peaked at number 2 on the Billboard 200 albums chart. You're Makin' Me High also topped the R&B singles chart for 2 weeks, and saw similar success in Europe and Asia. The album's second single, Unbreak My Heart, written and composed by Diane Warren, became the biggest hit of Braxton's career, spending 11 consecutive weeks at number 1 on the Hot 100, and also topping the Hot Dance Singles Sales chart for 11 weeks and the Hot Dance Music / Club Play chart for 4 weeks, as well as reaching No. 2 in the UK. Other singles from the album included the double-A side, I Don't Want To, / I Love Me Some Him, and How Could an Angel Break My Heart. This last featured Kenny G, with whom Braxton later toured. After 92 weeks in the charts, Secrets was certified 8x Platinum, becoming Braxton's second straight 8 million seller. Internationally, Secrets sold more than 15 million copies, thus cementing Braxton's superstar status. Braxton topped the Billboard year-end charts as the top Hot 100 singles artist female, top R&B artist female, top Hot R&B singles artist female, top Hot Dance Club Play artist, and top Hot Adult Contemporary artist, while Unbreak My Heart became the top Hot Dance Club Play single and the top Hot Adult Contemporary Track of the Year. She won 2 Grammy Awards. 1 for Best Female Pop Vocal Performance for Unbreak My Heart, and Best Female R&B Vocal Performance for You're Makin' Me High, as well as 2 American Music Awards for Favorite Female Soul / R&B Artist and Favorite Soul / R&B Album. By 1996, Braxton had sold more than 20 million records. Unfortunately, she was still waiting on her financial rewards, eventually launching an unsuccessful lawsuit against Arista and LaFace Records. Soon after, she filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Public reaction to these events was very harsh, having been expressed most clearly in an interview on The Oprah Winfrey Show. Upon successfully filing for bankruptcy, Braxton relinquished the rights to many of her valued possessions, including the Grammys and American Music Awards she had previously been granted. Braxton has appeared in 2 Disney Broadway shows. She made her Broadway debut as Belle in Beauty and the Beast beginning September 9, 1998, when she replaced Kim Huber. During her run in the show, Alan Menken wrote and composed a new song for the musical, titled A Change in Me, which he specially wrote and composed for Braxton, and was still being used in the musical as of late July 2014. She left the production on February 28, 1999 and was succeeded by Andrea McArdle. Her role in Beauty and the Beast marked the first time a black woman commanded the leading role of Belle on Broadway. It also marked the first time a black woman would star in a Disney musical on Broadway. In 1999, the lawsuit against LaFace Records was settled, and Toni was given back all her possessions, giving her time to record The Heat, her first album in 4 years. 2001, The Heat. After Braxton's 3-year-long dispute with LaFace and Arista had been settled, Toni signed a new $20 million contract. In March 2000, LaFace Records released He Wasn't Man Enough, the first single from Braxton's 3rd studio album, The Heat. By June 2000, the song peaked at number 2 on the Hot 100 chart and number 1 on the Hot R&B/Hip Hop chart. The Heat was released on April 25, 2000, debuting at number 2 on the Billboard 200 albums chart with first-week sales of 194,448 copies sold. It remained in the top 20 for 15 consecutive weeks. Braxton again worked with producers Babyface and Foster. Also included in the staple were Rodney Jerkins and new bow musician Kerry Lewis. Braxton took a more hands-on approach, co-writing and co-producing a handful of the tracks. One selection on The Heat, titled Gimme Some, featured a rap verse from TLC star Lisa, Left Eye, Lopes. The album's second single, Just Be a Man About It, peaked at number 32 on the Hot 100 and number 6 on the R&B charts. The third single, Spanish Guitar, peaked at number 98 on the Hot 100 and number 1 on the Hot Dance and Club charts. The fourth single, Maybe, peaked at 74 on the R&B charts. The Heat was certified double platinum in the US and, by 2002, had sold over 4 million copies worldwide. The Heat was nominated for many awards. At the 43rd Annual Grammy Awards, the album's lead single, He Wasn't Man Enough, was nominated for Best R&B Song and eventually won a Grammy Award for Best Female R&B Vocal Performance, while the album itself was nominated for Best R&B Album. She was also nominated for Best R&B/Soul Album, Female on the Soul Train Music Awards, but she lost to Who Is Jill Scott? Words and Sounds Volume 1, by Jill Scott. She won 2 American Music Awards for Favorite Soul/R&B Female Artist and Favorite Soul/R&B Album. In 2001, she made her movie acting debut in the feature film Kingdom Come. In 2002, while gearing up for the release of her 4th studio album, Braxton discovered she was pregnant with her second child. Knowing that she would be unable to promote the album properly, she unsuccessfully lobbied Arista Records to get the label to postpone its release until after she was to give birth. Arista Records refused, and the album was released as planned in November 2002. It received very little promotion from either Arista or Braxton herself, due in Braxton's case to the complicated pregnancy that had confined her to bed rest. Braxton accused the company of being unwilling to compromise and punishing her for not putting her career over family. 2002-05, More Than a Woman and Libra. In November 2002, Braxton's 4th studio album More Than a Woman was released. Opening to an instant commercial disappointment, the album peaked at number 13. The first single, The Neptunes produced, Hit the Freeway, failed at radio and peaked at number 86 on the Hot 100. The 2 singles that followed were scrapped, failed to make a dent and missed the Hot 100 completely. More Than a Woman was certified gold by RIAA and sold more than 800,000 copies worldwide. Prior to the release of the album, a dispute erupted between Braxton and Irv Gotti when he played a rough cut of No More Love, a song that he produced for the album, that was to be the first single. Disapproving of Gotti broadcasting the unfinished track, Braxton withheld it from being released. The same year, Braxton was further annoyed when Jay-Z used the same sample of Tupac's "Me and My Girlfriend" that she had already used on her track "Me and My Boyfriend" for his and Beyoncé's '03 Bonnie and Clyde. She then starred in Aida as Aida beginning June 30, 2003, when she replaced Simone, and left the cast on November 16, 2003, where she was replaced by Michelle Williams. In April 2003, Braxton abruptly left Arista Records, having been there for 14 years, and immediately signed with Blackground Records, headed by Barry Hankerson, her manager at the time. The change of scenery, however, did not ultimately help her recording career. As had been the case during her final years at Arista, Braxton's fifth album, and first release on Blackground, Libra, was released. In 2004, Braxton appeared as herself, voicing a singing character named Toni, in a special episode and DVD release of the children's television show Blue's Clues. In September 2004, it was announced that Braxton would star in a half-hour sitcom pilot where she would play a version of herself for the WB television network's full 2006-07 lineup, though plans to put the show into full production fell through once the WB announced it would cease to exist in fall 2006. She has also starred in the TV sitcom Kevin Hill. In April 2005, Braxton's new label, Blackground/Universal, released Please, the first single from her fifth album, Libra. The album was originally planned for a June release, but it was pushed back several times and was finally issued on September 27. Unfortunately for Braxton, her troubles with weak album promotion and lack of label commitment weren't over. Please peaked at number 36 on Billboard Hot R&B/Hip-Hop Songs, while altogether missing the Hot 100. Libra still managed to debut at number 4 on the Billboard 200, selling 114,593 copies in the first week. Libra also peaked at number 2 on the top R&B/hip-hop albums. Although that is strong for an album with little to no promotion, it became yet another commercial disappointment for Braxton. The album's second single, Trippin', received less airplay and peaked at number 67 on the R&B chart. The failure was ascribed to the non-video presence of the single and lack of label support. The album was certified gold in late 2005 and has since sold 679,000 copies worldwide. 2006-07, Toni Braxton, revealed and label conflicts. Braxton recorded a song in 2006 with Il Divo, titled The Time of Our Lives. The song was used as the official 2006 FIFA World Cup anthem, and was performed at the opening ceremony in Berlin, Germany, on June 9. The song was also performed at the closing ceremonies, making Braxton and Il Divo the first artists to be asked to perform for the opening and closing ceremonies. Braxton made an appearance on the season finale of American Idol 5, where she performed Elvis Presley's In the Ghetto with soon-to-be winner Taylor Hicks. On May 19, 2006, the Flamingo Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas announced that Braxton would replace Wayne Newton as the casino's new headlining act from August 3, 2006. The show, entitled Toni Braxton, Revealed, was to be performed 6 nights a week and was scheduled to run through to March 2007. Braxton later confirmed that she was extending her show through to August 2007. Due to its success, it was reported that Braxton would extend her show through to August 2008. The show was later cancelled in order for Braxton to focus on her health. In an October 2006 concert at the Flamingo Las Vegas, Braxton broke down in tears while announcing to the audience that just before the concert began she had been told that her son, Diesel, had been diagnosed with autism. Braxton has been outspoken regarding her doctor's failure to diagnose Diesel's condition earlier, contending that if he had been diagnosed earlier he could have received treatment earlier, as well as becoming a spokeswoman for Autism Speaks. She is also a spokeswoman for the American Heart Association. On January 12, 2007, Braxton filed a lawsuit in the United States District Court for the Southern District of New York against her former manager Barry Hankerson for $10 million, alleging fraud, deception and double-dealing, in addition to mismanaging her relationship with Arista Records. According to Braxton's lawsuit, Hankerson placed his personal financial interests ahead of hers by using double talk to compromise the relationship between Braxton and her former recording label, Arista Records, with Hankerson allegedly telling Arista that Braxton no longer wanted to record for Arista, and telling Braxton that Arista was not interested in working with her anymore. The suit was settled with Braxton being forced to return a $375,000 advance to Hankerson, who would also receive a percentage of the sales of her next album, and Hankerson releasing Braxton from her contract with him. The settlement also temporarily limited the companies with which Braxton can sign. Hankerson claimed that the problems initially arose due to a number of disputes with Braxton and her wish to include her husband in her music. 2008-10, Pulse. In August 2008, various internet websites including TMZ.com and In Touch Weekly magazine began announcing that Braxton would be appearing on the 7th season of Dancing with the Stars. The full cast of the next season of the show was confirmed on August 25, 2008 on Good Morning America, which confirmed Braxton as a contestant in the season with her partner being Alec Mazzo. They were voted off in the 5th week of the competition. In October 2008, it was announced that Braxton signed to Atlantic Records. In the November 2008 issue of Jet, Braxton discussed her time spent on Dancing with the Stars as well as dealing with her son's autism. Braxton also talked about being signed to Atlantic Records and the debut of her upcoming single. The DJ Frankie-produced song, Yesterday, premiered on September 11, 2009. And features 3 songs. It was released as the lead single from her 6th studio album Pulse. Yesterday peaked at number 12 on the US Billboard Hot R&B/Hip Hop Songs chart, making it her highest chart performance since her 2000 single, Just Be a Man About It, which peaked at number 6. The single has been released worldwide on May 3, 2010. In the UK, Yesterday became Braxton's first hit single since the release of Hit the Freeway, peaking at number 50 on the UK singles chart and at number 17 on the UK R&B singles chart. The song also became a moderate hit in Europe, peaking at number 20 on the German singles chart, at number 17 on the Swiss singles chart, and charting at number 50 on the European Hot 100. In November 2009, Braxton announced that she and Lewis had separated. On January 29, 2010, Braxton's official website posted 2 of the songs from the upcoming album, Hands Tied and Make My Heart. The former peaked at number 29 on the Hot R&B/Hip Hop Songs, the latter was sent to dance/club radio. She performed Make My Heart on The Wendy Williams Show. Braxton released her 6th studio album Pulse on May 4, 2010 in the US and on May 10, 2010 in the UK. Despite the fact that 27 songs were leaked, the album, consisting of only 11 tracks, debuted at number 9 on the US Billboard 200 chart and hit number 1 on Billboard's R&B/Hip Hop Albums chart, becoming Braxton's 5th US top 10 album. It also achieved moderate chart success around the world. In Canada it debuted at number 72 on the Top 100 Albums chart, and in the United Kingdom it debuted at number 28 on the Top 40 Albums and at number 7 on the R&B Albums chart. It entered at number 18 on the German album chart. In Switzerland, the album hit number 9. Pulse, although a commercial flop, became Toni's first album to chart inside the European Top 100 Albums since her 2000 album The Heat. On June 28, 2010, Braxton posted a video for Woman. Braxton was included as part of the We Are the World 25 for Haiti remake of the 1985 hit We Are the World, to help benefit the people of Haiti following the January 12, 2010 magnitude 7.0 megawatts earthquake in Haiti. The new version of the song was recorded on February 1, 2010. Music legends Quincy Jones and Lionel Richie act as executive producers as well as Wyclef Jean. Artists involved included Celine Dion, Barbara Streisand, Janet Jackson, Tony Bennett, Wyclef Jean, Josh Groban, Pink, Usher, Mary J. Blige, Jennifer Hudson, Adam Levine, Justin Bieber, LL Cool J, among others. According to Braxton, via a lawsuit, TMZ, and VH1's Behind the Music, after her Toni Braxton revealed show was abruptly cancelled back in 2008. The insurance agency, Lloyd's of London, refused to honour her policy that she purchased for upwards of $70,000 that included financial compensations for financial losses that occurred as results of concert cancellations. The policy was reported to insure Braxton up to $2.8 million. Lloyd's of London responded with a countersuit seeking damages against Braxton and remarked that Braxton's policy was null and void because of an unrelated heart condition that the company was not made aware of at the time the application was filed. Braxton responded to the countersuit by saying that she did disclose her full medical history at the time. As a result of the insurance company nullifying Braxton's contract, Braxton has said that she was on the hook for all damages because of the cancelled shows, being sued by multiple companies, and had to once again file for bankruptcy, as announced on October 7, 2010. As of 2013, Braxton has completed required financial management courses and most of her debt has been discharged. Later that year, rumors began circulating that Braxton was in talks to star in her own reality show with Bravo. Braxton would later confirm the rumors during an appearance on Ellen after a performance of her single, Make My Heart. Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Would you like to know more?